character-wise, he's probably the most honorable person you could ever hope to meet. There's no fakeness in JF. Matter of fact, he doesn't have a filter, which is a problem at times, because he does exactly what he honestly thinks. And he is not, he's not going to be your sappy friend, but he will do anything for you. And when he commits to something, he commits completely. As is evidenced by the fact that almost all the boards he's been on for decades. And he sticks to it, he grows them, and he doesn't just sort of do it. It's not just on his resume. He's there. He's in the works. And he says, I love being the oldest one there because I can give him the history. So it's just a innate part of his character that he follows through with everything he commits to.
I think it's great when you start talking about JF and how he's special. When I started working at the Community Foundation in 1998, he, along with Andy Bell, who was then the president, were engaged in raising the money to bring the Local Initiative Support Corporation, LISC, to Jacksonville. Jacksonville had already been rejected by LISC before, and we were really trying to make Jacksonville an attractive place for LISC to come. And so JF and Andy were working, going to visit people to raise the capital necessary. I think they had to raise about $1.5 million of local capital. And that was coming from individuals and banks. And, I think that the thing that surprised me, or the thing that makes JF special, is that JF is an idea guy. He has great ideas. That's not unusual. What's unusual is that not only is he an idea guy, but he's a carry it out kind of guy. And so when you think about his leadership at LISC, not only was he essential in helping to raise the money, making the connections with community leaders and philanthropists, but he also led its board for 20 years. 20 years he was chairman of the Jacksonville Local Advisory Board for LISC. And that's what makes JF remarkable, is that he has ideas and then he actually carries them out.
Well, that's easy. I don't play golf. I don't watch sports particularly, ever. I don't go to sport events. So I'm always busy, too busy, doing other things. So that makes it easier to balance. And I was always trying to be here for my kids when they were growing up. Went to all the ball games and all that and stayed involved in that. And I have taken up croquet late in life. That's a 30-minute game, not a 5-hour game. So that gives me some time to maneuver around and cover a lot of bases.
A father. He is a fabulous father. And he didn't ever change diapers. He's never cooked a meal. He doesn't do any of those carpools. He wouldn't know how to do it. But as far as giving the kids the character, strength, and the growth factors to be a real person and to have depth and sensitivity to life, he's there. And patient, when I would just want to spank their bottom, he would be so patient and so kind, and it worked. It worked. He's probably as good a father as you could ever hope to have. That's one of the things I love the best about him.
Well, that had to be my dad. He was a victim of that. He always encouraged everybody in the company to be involved in the community, and he was very involved. He was on 10 or 12 boards and was chairman of the board and president of our company for many, or 27 years to be exact. And so he's been my inspiration. Now my later day inspiration has been Edward Bach. Edward Bach came here from the Netherlands. His grandma told him before he left the Netherlands, he said, make the world a bit better or more beautiful for you having been a part of it. So that's, I think, a pretty good slogan to go by. Well, when I grew up, Jacksonville had 200,000 people. Now we got 1,100,000 or something like that. It changed dramatically because the biggest dog on the porch in the old days was Ed Ball. And Ed Ball took great pride in not giving to anything charitable. And so there was not any aspiration in the community to be big in philanthropy. We have some philanthropic people, but not like what happened later. So Ed Ball dies, leaves the scene, and then the Weavers came, and it's just incredible what they've done. They put, $260 million into this community, not counting the Jaguar Foundation. I mean, it's unbelievable what they've done. So it changed the whole basis of philanthropy. When I joined the community foundation as a trustee, we had $50 million. Now we have 800 or 900 million. We're the largest community foundation in Florida. And I've always said my biggest accomplishment with the community foundation was my 2 lunches I paid for Dolores Weaver to talk her into being on the board. I finally succeeded. Well, of course, less, because I started it here 25 years ago, and I was chairman of the board for 20 years. I'm still on the board, but I think bringing it here and witnessing what it's done for this community and the challenged neighborhoods we have here has been absolutely remarkable. And of course, the symphony is very dear to me. My dad was chairman of the symphony board. I was chairman of the board the year we had Pavarotti, and 10,000 people showed up at the Coliseum. He was a great guy, wonderful personality. And so many, I've been involved in so many other things I can't think probably. Monticello has been, being on that board was, I think, very important. Very, very interesting, because they were doing a lot of new things, discovering new interpretations, including the slaves. Jefferson had 625 slaves, and he kept perfect records, not all at one time. And so we now have a steel wall at Monticello, which is about 3 feet high and curves. It's real thick. And carved in it, knocked out in it, are the names of all 625 slaves. And so we've made a big effort. Every year we have the families of surviving slaves, families there.
Well, JF is, except for the fact that he loves to talk, he's shy. He is not one to talk about himself, and he's not one to boast, but he's very sensitive to all that he's done, and it means a lot to him. And it's his core, being able to make a difference is the kind of core to his feeling good about himself. And so I think most people probably think he's more outgoing than he might be, honestly. He fakes it well. Fake it till you make it, right?
It can be as complicated as a list of trying to explain to people how this organization from New York City works with these things called community development corporations that no one in Jacksonville knew what that was before List came to town, and can explain that and then put his own skin in the game with both his time, talent, and treasure to exercise leadership and make LISC the successful organization in Jacksonville, one of the most successful LISC operations in the South in the United States. And that's not surprisingly due to JF's leadership and stick-to-itiveness that has made LISC such a success.
We have these CDCs all over the community, about 6 of them. And the newest one is the Rail Yard District. And we realized that the Rail Yard had a unique personality compared to the other CDCs. It had a lot of assets next to a lot of no asset community. And most of our community CDCs, they're no assets. It's impoverished communities, and there's nothing around to support it. But in your case, in the railroad district, you have the railroad and Beaver Street, Fishery, all of those things, farmers market, and Drummond Press. all these industries with assets and needs of people, employees, as well as being able to help those other folks. So it made a great combination and very successful.
JF and I attend the same church. That's actually where I met JF before I started working at the Community Foundation. And there's a courtyard that has a fountain, and his family was instrumental in making that renovation probably back in the 80s. And things had gotten a little tired, and there were some renovations that were being done. And JF said, you know, I think we need some planters here with some plants in them. And in classic JF style, he had the idea, he selected the planters, made them to appear, and then he went to his own yard, dug up the ferns, and transplanted them into the planters at church. So he has shepherded that project from the idea to the end completion. And now they look wonderful. He planted them a couple of weeks ago. They're still green. No one's killed them yet. And they look fantastic. And it's just another example of how JF is both the idea guy and the execution guy.
I was involved in the symphony for years. I've been on the symphony board over 40 years. I've been on the Bach Tower board 28 years. Guy Botts asked me to do that. You know, he was head of Barnett Bank, and he had a son my age that died when we were kids. But so I knew him well. He came and asked me. I would have done anything he asked me to do, actually, because I thought so much of him. And then various other things. Interesting story about Lisp. I was head of the Community Foundation, and so we had a meeting with John Delaney's office with another guy that were going to talk him to be heading this LISP program. And LISP was started by the Community Foundation, the Jaguar Foundation, and the DuPont Foundation. So they were all there, and I was there representing the Community Foundation. And this guy didn't get it. He had no interest in doing it at all. 3 weeks later, John Delaney called me and asked me if I would do it. And it just fit in. I'd worked in a lot of those areas. I knew the city well. We'd given money to challenge communities at Independent Life for years. Never really had much to show for it. And here came LISP, which is all about bottom up, in the belief that every neighborhood, regardless of how challenged, has human resources. Once identified, trained, given assets and technical advice, can bring the neighborhood back. It's probably the only sustainable way to do that over a long period of time. And I like that idea, because I knew top down didn't work too well, but bottom up works extremely well.
Can you sing about it? Yeah. What's going on? What is going on? I don't want the kisses. Your daddy wants the kisses. Yeah, daddy likes the kisses.
He's looking right at us, y'all.
Is he?
Yeah, he looks you in the eye. That's what I like about him too.